I want to fuck Beyonce and Rihanna. We'll see which one of those things happen first.
It has been a minute, ladies and gentlemen. The Keyboard Warriors are back. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors Live, presented by CageSidePress.com. I'm Eddie Law. It's Fred Kirby, shooting the shit with you guys on a Monday night. Coming up UFC 292, man. Yeah. Okay, so I should have said this before, but when Sean O'Malley finished that fight and he walks around just looking around, you know, my first thought was like, this motherfucker looks like Fred Kirby.
Braids and shit.
Yeah, dude, the braids. All you need to do is rainbow your shit and you're good to go.
I need to rainbow my shit and lose about 37 pounds. But yeah, I can see a little resemblance there. Yeah.
Dude, that was a nasty finish that he had. The way he suckered, he basically frustrated Aljo in and then drops that right hand from God and just knocks him out. Basically drops him and then knocks him out. But what'd you think of the fight itself? Because I did not expect that to happen like that. I really didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the fight itself was all right. Well, it was the second round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got one round of whatever, and then dude lands like the fucking counter right hand from the gods. I mean, that was about as pretty as you could fucking picture it. Catches Aljo stepping in, he steps back. Fucking, it was. I felt like, and again, not necessarily in the aura of the fight or the result or any of that necessarily, because they were a little different, but it had a lot of that Conor Jose Aldo feel to it. Just sort of, it didn't look like fucking O'Malley hitting that hard. It was just right on the button as Aljo was coming in. Aljo walked right into it. What are you gonna do? For me, I guess the surprising thing about the fight was, and I don't know what the fucking deal was. Maybe it was Aljo's movement. Who the fuck knows? But I just felt like, I don't know. MMA math is fuck, man. Going into the fight, Aljo got what? 2 takedowns against Henry Cejudo. How many times did he take Henry down?
Ooh,
couple,
2 or 3.
At the very least, fucking once.
Yeah.
I think 2 or 3 though. And this is Henry fucking Cejudo. Now I get it. Henry hadn't fought in 3 or 4 years. He's a fucking Olympic gold medal Olympic winner fucking wrestler. And Aljo took him down 2 or 3 fucking times, man.
Yep.
I mean, all due respect to Sean O'Malley, one can only assume that Aljo's going to get the takedown if he at least even gets his hands on him and gets him pressed up against the cage. Well, I'll be dipped in shit if he fucking didn't. He did get his hands on him. He did get him against the cage, and he didn't get a fucking takedown to save his life. And then he got thunderstruck in the second round. All that to say, don't fucking gamble on MMA, kids, because there's no fucking way to tell anything about nothing. Like, all the bullshit you can see on paper. And yeah, I'm sure there's a way in which you can think, O'Malley, very good striker. Aljo's been known to get fucking snuck before.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the most unforeseen thing. I'm just surprised that Aljo was able to get his hands on him and still couldn't get a fucking takedown. Like, in what fucking world did anybody see that coming? Where, like, again, if Aljo couldn't touch him and Sean just kept the distance and eventually gets that shot, it's like, what are you going to do? But Aljo did get his hands on him in the first round. He got him against the cage. He got his hands on him, and he just couldn't get the fucking takedown.
And the funny part is Sean O'Malley came in with an injury. Like, he had an injury. I think something in his arm or something like that. I can't remember, but he said it himself. He was throughout the week. He kept saying in interviews, like, it's he's going in there for life or death, right? If he gets taken down, it's life or death at that point. And it was because that injury, he even said in the post fight that it's pretty damn sore, it hurts like a bitch right now, and all this stuff. And I think he was worried about getting taken down. He did really well to not get taken down. Like, that was, I want to say luck, but it was, it was smart for him to play coy like that, to be like, I'm good, let's go, whatever. But
that don't even make no goddamn sense to me.
Yeah,
it don't make no sense that he couldn't take fucking Sean O'Malley down at all. You throw in the fact that Sean O'Malley was injured and he still couldn't take down an injured Sean O'Malley. Yeah. I mean, I'm just not fucking, again, MMA math is for the birds, I suppose, but like, on what fucking planet do you say, yo, Sean O'Malley's got an injury too? I mean, okay, then Aljo's going to get this fucking takedown. If he can just put a pinky on this little white prick, he's fucking getting taken down. I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess, again, I have to rewatch the fight and see exactly what happened. I don't remember how many times Aljo got a good grip on him, but I do remember thinking, okay, well, that wasn't very good. Like, Aljo had his, because I don't know, dog, going into the fight, I'm thinking, if Aljo gets a hand on this prick, he's in fucking deep trouble. Yeah. It was like Aljo's the GOAT at 135. The GOAT. Let me tell you something. That's not for knocking motherfuckers out. And not to say that he doesn't have serviceable striking, but let's be very clear. Aljo's fucking strong suit is his grappling. Mm-hmm. His grappling is what makes him dangerous and nasty. And again, I'm sure Sean O'Malley's grappling is okay, or even good, but he's not fucking Aljamain Sterling's level. At least I didn't fucking think so. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I was fucking shocked, man. Not really shocked that, again, O'Malley won by knockout, but shocked that Aljo couldn't get one fucking takedown and control him for no part of that fucking first round or the whole fight, for fuck's sake.
He tried twice. He tried 2 takedowns, did not work out for him. So that was, and for an entire round, that's 5 minutes, and not be able to take this dude down. It was wild. And then he got, Sean forcing him to reach, right? Getting him frustrated, forcing him to reach. Just boom, that right hand. And then everyone, I think everybody and their mother started putting the clips together of that knockout with Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo. I wouldn't say the exact same, obviously, but pretty damn similar.
The way they land the punch, sort of stepping back and the other person rushing in, the sequence was sort of similar. Everything else is quite different, to be completely fair. But that little finishing sequence was somewhat similar, man.
Yeah.
Somewhat similar.
100%. So now that the division is wide open, O'Malley wants Chito Vera in December. People are arguing for Merab. Aljo have been saying that after this fight, he's going to go up to 145 and open up the title fight for Merab, but because they're teammates. But now Aljo's talking immediate rematch, right? You don't want to move up on a loss like that and everything. And it's funny, in post fight, Aljo actually showed up to the post fight. Credit to him for doing that. But he said, "Man, Sean O'Malley did that to me. What's Volkanovski gonna do?" Like, he said that himself, and I was like, "Damn, dude, yeah, stay at 35. You don't want to move up saying some shit like that, and expect a title opportunity at some point." But so who would you rather see? Who do you want to see in there with Sean O'Malley in December? That's the day he gave.
I mean, the problem is who I want to see is who it shouldn't be. I want to see the Cheeto fight, right?
Yeah.
But you can't do that when he's coming off a loss to fucking Corey Sandhagen, and Corey Sandhagen is, a real person who actually fucking exists and still fights, for fuck's sake. So
yeah,
that's a weird vibe. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's just such a shit show. I give it to Merab, but Merab's hurt, right? So like, Merab should get the fucking fight. That's what, like, I would like to see Cheeto get it. It should go to Merab now, since he should have had the fight 2 fights ago, and he just wasn't taking the goddamn fight because it was his fight to have. But if he's hurt, I guess Corey Sandhagen. I hate to be a cunt to you, Corey. So it's like
So here's the problem with that. I know it's been a minute. Corey Sandhagen tore his triceps off the bone apparently in Nashville not long ago. So he's out for 6+ months, right?
Oh.
Probably.
Okay. Well, okay. Then listen. Realistically, Cheeto.
Cheeto won his fight on Saturday. He fought Pedro Munoz, took decision, and it was that's the only fight I see unless Merab is somehow ready, or they give it to Aljo off the bat.
Yeah, listen, I didn't even mention that because all due respect, I hate to do this to you, Aljo, but sorry, buddy. You was one of those dudes, man, that for whatever reason, look, by the merit that we normally use, should Aljamain Sterling get an immediate rematch? Yeah, he should. Yeah, he should. I feel like if you even get mentioned as the GOAT of fucking anything while you're still competing in the goddamn sport, you probably deserve an immediate rematch.
Yeah.
Problem with that is the only way you really get immediate rematches in this sport is if the fight was actually controversial, or if you're just, Conor, Ronda, still if you John Joe, like if you fucking are a needle mover, if you are a motherfucking moneymaker, you might be able to jive talk your way into getting an immediate rematch. Sorry, Aljo, you don't fit either one of those bills, bud. Like, you're going to have to at least win one fight to get that shot back. That was a clean fight. These fucking pricks, man. You see the fucking people saying the fight was stopped too early?
I saw that shit. That's bullshit.
Are people out of their fucking mind, man? I mean, listen, again, could they have let him eat another shot or two to get put unconscious? I wouldn't have been the one complaining. I mean, I'm a fucking cunt like that, though. So, but I think it's safe to say the fight was over. Like, it's early in the fight. Aljo's hurt real bad.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley's not landing all these punches, but he's landing enough of them that he's just enough to keep Aljo hurt real bad. What the fuck? Like, we can continue to let that go on for another 5, 10, 25 seconds as long as it needs to, but be very fucking certain that Sean O'Malley was going to end up knocking Aljo out from that point. I mean, we've seen some wild comebacks. Save the fucking cocksucking Pat Barry Czech Congo fucking memes for another day, goddammit. That shit was not happening. At least fucking Czech was always on his goddamn feet in that fight. Fucking Aljo was tits up, taking a beating, bleeding like a sieve. That fight was not going to end any other way. And listen, this coming from a prick who's usually like, you fuck Aaron on the side of caution. These guys and girls want to go out on their shield, let them go out on their shield. But listen, when you're on your fucking back getting your face beat in, that's your shield. You don't have to be fucking unconscious and stiff, for fuck's sakes. I mean, the fight's over if you're on your back, dog, getting fucking clipped in the face. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, no, that was game over at that point. There was no chance of that happening. Santiago, hey, what's up, man? Good for Sugar in the division. Chito, it's next. Yeah, I don't see anybody else really that's like would be prepared to do it. Like Chito, apparently came out relatively uninjured. His legs were all messed up from checking kicks, but I mean that heals up in no time. And seems like nobody's injured. Is Sean O'Malley's or whatever injury he had, is it good to go for December? He said he's ready for December and everything. That's the only fight I see is Chito Vera, so that's the one I want to see as well. I'd rather see Merab, but if we want to have some fun, Chito first and then the Merab fight if he's healthy enough. All right, co-main event. Yeah, co-main event. Zhang Weili with decision victory over Amanda Lemos, and now they're talking UFC China against Zhang Xiaonan, or they were talking Tatiana Suarez. There's a few different options here and there, and it was a dominant win. But it wasn't like how can I put it? I was more impressed with Amanda Lemos than I was with Weili. I really was. Just the fact that she was able to survive that beating.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it wasn't the greatest fight in the world. No. It was a good fight. It was not a bad fight by any stretch of the imagination. They stayed after it. They stayed active. It's just like sometimes you need these sort of, or you want these oh shit moments or these pendulum swings. Like sometimes I feel like fights, it's a hard thing to describe, man. Sometimes fights are very good, but they're just not special. There's nothing that really makes it click. It's like getting some fucking pussy. If you're a fucking dude and you get some stank on your hang low, you had a good night. But every once in a while, you'll meet a girl that you actually want to stick around after you throw her a stab at, and you're like, holy shit. This is fucking interesting. This is the whole thing right here. This was a good fight. This was a good one-night stand. Then afterwards, you're like, get the fuck out. Your ass rattled all right, but you're fucking annoying. Your voice, get those fucking clothes on. Your Uber's waiting outside. Hit the fucking door. It was a good fight. It just didn't have any fucking zest. Nothing happened. No big nasty cuts. No crazy pendulum swings. Weili never really got hurt. Nobody was ever in fucking desperate danger of getting stopped. Like, it was a very solid fight, but very sort of non-eventful.
No, 100%. Kairos, what's up, Kairos? So now I cannot believe a judge gave her a round. I mean, yeah, that was. I remember seeing that score. I was like, what the hell? That you tripping? Santiago agrees as well. All right, so what would you rather see Zhang Weili do? UFC China, Yan Zhangnan, or Tatiana Suarez here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to be a fucking racist here, but fucking China, why the fucking, I mean, what are we talking about here? There's 2 Chinese broads fighting for the belt in China. Like,
Make
this
it
fucking
happen.
shit wrote itself. Vince McMahon's sitting around somewhere salivating over this fucking storyline. I mean, sell the shit out of it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only thing that sucks is, now listen, I don't know. I could be wrong. How do fucking, and what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck I'm asking you for. You're a goddamn Mexican from Arizona. What the fuck do you know about it? But I wonder what, like, all bullshit aside, all joking aside, what does having this fight mean to China? And when I say that, I'll be very fucking specific. Do Chinese men give a fuck about their broad sporting events? Let's just get right to the fucking core of it. If you go to fucking Hong Kong or whatever the fuck the rest of their big goddamn cities are in China, are these motherfuckers watching female fucking soccer or women boxing? Or I don't even know, do they even watch fucking combat sports? And if they did, would they watch fucking broads? Or they, one of these cultures that are like, fuck that, broad should be licking my fucking taint and baking my goddamn sushi or whatever the fuck. I genuinely don't know.
I don't know either.
It's a big deal. Or maybe most Chinese people are like, we give no fucks about MMA or those fucking broads or them fighting. I mean, I genuinely, I don't really know how. You would think on the surface this is a huge deal for China. They got a female champ, or they got a champion. But again, let's be real clear. They don't got a champion. They got a fucking female champion. These are different fucking things. I don't know how big of a fucking star she is over there. If the men really buy into that, do the women buy into it? Do the women, are Chinese fucking women by nature into combat sports? Or are they like, oh no, this is so gross? I don't know why I became an Italian broad right there, but I'm just fucking saying.
I'm gonna reach out and find out. That's a good question. I want to see what the people in China actually think about this kind of thing. So we'll see. If they make that fight, it'll be a big deal for China for sure. The UFC is gonna, promote the hell out of it. It'll be crazy.
That though, yeah, that's. I mean, listen, that's gotta be. Tatiana Suarez is obviously right there. Yeah. And listen, if she wants to take a fight in the meantime, she can. Wouldn't advise it. That shit always fucking goes left. But the way I see it, line up the fucking big, huge Chinese fight, see what we can do in that market, and let Tatiana fight the winner, right?
100%. That's what I'm with. I'm on that for sure. Patrick McCory up at 3 a.m.
Oh,
why are you awake, big dog? This is one of our guys over at Cageside Press. This dude. 3 a.m. How are you not asleep right now, dude? He was on Instagram Live maybe like 20 minutes ago. I'm surprised he's awake. Anyway, welcome, dude, and congrats on the on making it to adulthood, my friend. That's this dude got his first job, and I mean, for those days, man, shit's wild. Kara says they went to China like 5 years ago and never came back. Yeah, well, I'm a little surprised. Well, I'm a little surprised with the political atmosphere of like the Dana White era side, where everyone's so anti-China that they're even going back.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what the prick's name was, but I'm pretty sure his nickname was the Mongolian Wolf. If I'm not mistaken, that was the only Chinese fighter on the card at the time, and he was fucked.
Yeah. No shit. Patrick says work got me throwing off, bro. I can't sleep. First full-time job, been working part-time for 3 years. There you go.
Yeah.
Santiago says, to me, MMA fans are more willing to watch female fighters than other sports. I'm a fan of football, soccer. When women's soccer, it's unbearable. Kind of funny, though. Yeah, I think didn't Spain just win the World Cup, Women's World Cup? Something like that. I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly his point. It's like, Anyway, all right. Moving on. Just a couple more fights to talk about before we head off to whatever else we want to touch on. Ian Gary. What did you think of that on short notice from Neil Magny, Ian Gary's performance and I mean, this guy's got so much hype behind him. People forget this fight went to decision on short notice. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I'm such a cunt, man. I'm such a fucking cunt. I always am looking for Neil Magny to take a beating, and then he finally comes in and takes a beating. And what do? I feel bad for him. I'm almost mad at this fucking Ian Gary prick. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
He's undefeated. He's Irish. He's brash. He obviously reminds us of all of you know who. So there's that. He was hella cringy coming in at the pre-fight presser with fucking Neil. I don't know what to think. Look, the performance was good. Neil Magny is long in the tooth, to say the least. I'm not trying to diminish the win, just trying to keep everything in a little bit of perspective here. Listen, I'm fucking old and I'm goddamn jaded. I used to fuck all the young pussy too. You understand what I'm saying? We get a new fucking prospect in. He did a couple big wins, and Daddy Fred was right there. I can't tell you how many fucking what was that prick's name? The Barn Cat, Camden McCrory or whatever. I can't tell you how many pricks like that I jumped on the old fucking hype train. Boy, you should have heard me when Mirko Krokop was coming. I was singing high and low. And then Gabriel Gonzaga fucking head kicks him. I always end up looking like a dick when I ride on these goddamn hype trains. I couldn't be the motherfucker that rode the Sugar Shine O'Malley hype train all the way there. Every time I jump on a hype train, it derails like a motherfucker. Hector Lombard, every fucking time. Every fucking time I get invested in one of these pricks, they just crash and burn in a major way. So he looks good. He looked great against an aging Neil Magny. He's fucking mouthy. He's Irish. He's got a lot going for him. You know, and then I don't know whether what he said about wanting to take his time and not make any mistakes against Neil, and that's why he didn't get the finish, or whether, you know, he just couldn't find the right spot. But if he was fucking telling the truth, that does make him even a little more scary. That he's actually that composed and that well thought, because that's fucking smart, man. That's smart. Think what you want about Neil Magny, but he's not somebody you want to toy around with. No. And no matter how you cut the cake, Ian Gary beat the goddamn dog shit out of him for 3 straight rounds. So that's not an easy thing to do, even if he is fucking on the tail end of his career, to say the goddamn very least. It's still a formidable task. So he's a good-looking kid. He's a good-looking kid.
First calf kick he landed, and Neil Magny was fucked at that point. The shower vid Ian posted was so weird. I don't know if you saw it. Ian Gary posted on his Instagram. It was like he was in a shower with Chito Vera, and it was just a weird video to post. Like, it was, I don't know, whatever.
Whoa. No, not whatever. We're not gonna do that now. When you say in the shower, what do we mean here? Do we mean they're in there fucking bumping pissers, or are they like wearing their swimming trunks, or like?
No, they're just it's a team shower. So this is a TD Garden, right?
Are they
Garden
fucking
arena.
ass naked?
They're ass naked, taking showers like on opposite sides of the room, but they're taking showers, and someone goes in there with a camera and gets video of them in the shower, and then Ian Gary posts it.
Okay, wait a minute. So it wasn't like Ian Gary doing one of these numbers. It was some fucking dick walked in with an outside camera. And then
it was Ian Gary's guy. Hang on, let me see.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I don't know if I want to post it.
This is a complex story. We're not going to gloss over
this.
The important stuff. Who gives a fuck about the X's and O's? This is the important stuff. We got to find out.
Covering the twig and berries.
Well, that's fucked, but
that's all they were doing. They were standing there with hands on their nuts and shit to make sure you weren't gonna get strict on Instagram.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I want to definitely see this then, though, because what is said at that point is very fucking important. So, all right, they're in the fucking showers, they're holding their hogs. Fair enough. He had the guy come in. Fair enough. For what fucking reason, though? This better be something real good. It better be funny. They better be like, if he's just like, hey guys, how's it going? That's a little fucking weird at that point, though. It better be funny.
Hey, the video's gone.
All right, well, there you go. Wasn't that fucking funny then?
No, it was funny, but it was weird. But I think Instagram must have been like, nah, we can see some shit, and took it down. So it is fair enough. But anyway,
all right, well, fair enough.
It was weird. Ian deleted it. Okay, yeah, Ian deleted it. That's right. Yeah. Anyway, Raider, what's up, Raider? Every time Magny fights, I think about how much Fred hates him.
That's funny. Like I said, this time afterwards, I'm like, damn, Ian, motherfucking, what's his other fucking name?
Machado. Ian Machado, Gary.
Okay, before I'm a cunt about that, is there some story relating to a kid or something with the Machado thing? All right, yeah, let me not be a dick about it.
It's his wife's last name, so her original last name. So instead of her just taking Gary, they put Machado in there, from what I understand.
So, well, it ain't got nothing to do with no kid or no hurt kid or no dead kid.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. Right, Patrick, do you know about this man? I'm pretty sure you would know that.
Wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure it's
his old lady's last name that he took after marriage.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, man, find out for you. That. I thought it had something to do with a hurt kid or something. Ian Gary, that's some bullshit. Listen, make no mistake about it. Ian Gary can kick my ass. That being said, that's some pussy shit. I don't know if they do things different in Ireland or what the fucking deal is in Europe. You took her last name? You got your fucking mind?
Let's see here. So actually, Gabriel Gonzalez talked to him from Cageside Press. Talked to him about that at a karate combat thing, and he explained that it was just they just put the last names together, so she would have to lose her last name, whatever. And let's see, so this is through John Anik talking.
The last of a line. Is there some reason why she needs to not lose her name? Is there something?
So
about this,
she has a son from, I guess, a previous relationship with the last name Machado, and because he's part of the family, he wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything different.
Okay. All right. I take it back. Goddamn it. Sometimes this is why context is important to fucking story. Yeah. If there's a good reason, fair enough. If he just decided, fuck it, I'll take her name. What the fuck are we doing here? Fuck off with that shit. But okay, fair enough.
Her adopted, he adopted her kid from a prior relationship. Want to make sure that they all have the same last name. Oh, because they have the new baby.
I can dig that. I can dig that. Fair enough. That makes sense. Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that.
Explains why he's all mad about Neil Magny's comments. Neil Magny says he's gonna beat his ass.
That's why I thought there was a kid angle. I thought there was something to do with the kid. And okay, fair enough. All right, cool. That'll work.
Fucking Patrick goes, clip and cancel this man. No. Let's see. That's funny. Yeah, anyway, so that's the thing with Ian Gary. All right, and then the other fight I want to talk about before we move on to whatever else we want to talk about here is well, fuck, I don't have a fucking Instagram post on it, but Chris Weidman, dude. Chris Weidman. Not only did he really not show, in my opinion, enough to tell us that he could still make a run for a title, in my opinion, make a run for a title. Not only that, but he tore an ACL or MC. He tore something again, according to Dana White, saying that the doctors has said that he tore something again in the shitty knee that he blew out before. I don't like to tell fighters to retire, but man, like he's on that list where I'm just like, come on, man, stop thinking about it. The fuck?
Yeah. A title shot. I don't mean to be a fucking complete cunt here, but you know, I don't. We need to really start just thinking within the realms possible. Now, look, I guess going into this fight, anything was possible. You keep high hopes, whatever. But that being said, after the fight's fucking said and done now, listen, it's time for fucking Chris Weidman to hang him up.
Yeah.
What else more can you say, man? The dude had a great career. At his peak, he was one hell of a fighter. He's the guy that started the fucking. He's the one that beat Anderson. People beat Anderson afterwards. People beat Anderson before, but he's the one that beat Anderson when Anderson was a mythical fucking god. Whether it was luck, whether Anderson's knee fucking blowing apart was luck, whatever it was, he beat him fucking twice.
Yeah.
Fair and fucking square, even if it was a freak accident and Anderson fucked around too much the first time, he did those things, man. So, I hate again, always agree with DW, but like Dana White said at the post fight, what more does he? What are we doing here, man? Yeah. What are we like? Look, if he had come out and smashed Brad Tavares, then listen, we have a different conversation.
Oh yeah, we can talk.
He looked all right. No fucking disrespect to Brad Tavares, but when you look like that against Brad Tavares, you're not fighting for the fucking title anytime fucking soon. It's just that's the fucking facts of it all.
100%. Patrick says Brad Tavares' Instagram comments were so funny. There was a fan that was mad at him for leg kicking. I tweeted it out, and here's the comment. He said, "No respect, just going for Weidman's legs for an easy win. Obviously, you have no confidence in yourself to just stand and bang. You knew you would have gotten rocked." First of all, whoever the fuck tweeted that or put that in on his Instagram comments has never seen Brad Tavares fight before. That dude's a savage. Second of all, his leg kicks are one of his biggest weapons. He's not supposed to fucking kick the legs. Eat a dick.
Yeah, and again, what these people fucking are out of their minds, man. I even seen that Chris Weidman's acted like he was a little surprised at first that he kicked his leg. I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch, you're gonna kick my bad leg?" And it's like, dude,
I'd have done it too.
Fucking A. This is blood sport, motherfucker. Make no mistake about it, dude. Like, I don't want you to be injured. But if you get injured, So the fuck be it. This is not ping pong, my dude. I gotta beat you, so I get double my pay.
Yeah.
My whole fucking goddamn state's on fire. Shit is fuck back home. Kick you when you're in your leg. Here, motherfucker, thump. That's does that hurt? Here's a reminder of why you should be on your fucking couch teaching a 6-year-old jiu-jitsu and not. And listen, here's a fucking newsflash for you. You're talking about the title.
Yeah.
We're at 85, brother. You better be glad that I kicked you in the leg and not goddamn Alex fucking Pajeda.
Oh, fuck.
Like, there are people in this division that'll tear your fucking cap off, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, use this as a fucking litmus test to just go on and fuck off. Like, stop fucking around, man. This is not. It sounds trite and shit, and obviously, I don't want to come across as a condescending cunt to somebody like Chris fucking Weidman. But this is not the fucking place to fuck around, man.
No.
You'll get hurt really bad. And again, fuck do I know about it? Obviously, Chris knows this, but I feel like sometimes these fighters are just fucking, and again, I ain't saying nothing new, but they're too fucking tough and shit for their own health. They're too brave for their own health. I'm sure Chris does want to come back. I'm sure he's so mentally tough that right now he's sitting around somewhere going, this is just a fucking roadblock. You hear motherfucker motherfucker laid up with a fucking another big scar on the side of his knee talking about this is just speed bump, guys. Matt fucking Sarah in there going, I don't know, Chris. It's a big speed bump, this one. I mean, it's fucking at a certain point, it's just fucking, silliness, man. It's fucking it's dangerous to keep letting him go out there after these injuries and these surgeries and shit. I think it should be an easy no-brainer.
Yeah.
Chris Weidman should retire after this. Maybe do like grappling competitions or some shit, but or hell, maybe go do some bare knuckle boxing, right? Just don't do something where they
don't kick the legs
and them bad fucking legs, Jack, or fucking get you on the ground and twist me. No matter of fact, I take back the grappling shit. Don't do nothing where they can fuck your legs up, man. If you go get some money boxing or something, maybe go try your hand there. But
yeah, no, that's what it is. Oh, look, our resident hater's back. Peace, bitch. All right. But what was his name? So he's the only fight that I would agree with that I would actually want to see him in. Weidman versus Gerald Meerschaert, winner and loser retire, just like a last second fight. But they're both grapplers. Make it a grappling match. Fuck. And then I reckon Weidman shot himself a bit every time his broken leg got kicked. There you go.
Yeah, and I mean, that would probably never not be the case, but you can't expect a motherfucker to, again, this isn't, the fuck, bro. There ain't gonna be no rules. They're not gonna be like, okay, we will respectfully not look for knee bars on that leg or kick you in that leg or they'll be glad you ain't fighting John Jones, boy. He'd put the motherfucking kneecap back on that cold, dusty fucking leg. First thing John would have did is kick you hard as fuck right in that kneecap, like.
There you go.
But that's why he's the greatest fucking fighter of all time. I mean, dude, if you ain't ready to be in here again, bruh, this is not the local fucking ring. This is the motherfucking UFC. And again, all the horse shit that I just said about Brad Tavares, he's a goddamn fucking animal, man, which is to say every damn near, barring CM Punk and a couple of you sneaky pricks that snuck in there through the back door, everybody's ever fought in the UFC, you're dealing with fucking savages, man. If somebody's ever owned a top 10 ranking in the UFC, that's a bad person that will hurt you bad if you are fucking not ready, man.
For real, 100%. All right, let's see. What else we want to talk about today? Because we came in kind of just like, fuck it, let's just shoot the shit. See what's up. We got about 20 minutes left. Okay. Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor. So Michael Chandler was a guest fighter, right? Or guest whatever interview at the post fight. And he was talking about how like he knows the fight's gonna happen, just doesn't know when. He has no idea when. Do you think we even see this shit? Like, it feels like we're like inching closer or more to the side of this is gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it will. I think Conor's going to fight again. So
yeah,
I think maybe he thought he was going to try to call himself cute and get that Justin Gaethje fight, but
yeah,
there's a limit to everybody's shit, even Conor. So I think he might have probably tried to slide that past Dana White behind closed doors, and Dana was probably, listen, dude, fucking. We love you, but we just built this whole fucking season around you and this prick, your return fight. Like, and at the end of the day, they're almost the same person. Like, get in there and get the fucking win against Michael Chandler. And then, you can have the Gaethje fight. Hell, you go in there and knock out Michael Chandler. and we might be able to fast track you right to an Islam fight, depending on what happens and who's hurt. Honestly, bro, when it comes to the UFC, especially when you have a name like Connor's, you're one good knockout away from fucking them just pulling some bullshit. All they need from Connor is one. If he fucking starches Michael Chandler, sky's the limit. He'll probably get Gaethje, but like depending on what happens and who's hurt and who's not ready, sky's the limit. What the fuck, but they need him to get a win. I do think he'll fight again, so I think it happens. Now, win, who the fuck knows? I also think that USADA's a fucking joke. It's all complete fucking horseshit, and I think that when Connor's ready to fight, money talks and bullshit walks, man. Bigger people than USADA have been bought off. Bigger, more important people than USADA get bought off every day in this country and around the fucking world for the almighty dollar. Nobody's got more dollars than Conor fucking McGregor. When he's ready to fight, he'll get the fight. He'll probably fucking be hot. He probably won't get caught because that's what money do. We'll see what happens. He'll either get fucking thunderstruck by Michael Chandler or he'll fuck around and knock dude out and the fucking show will fucking increase tenfold again.
It's fucking nuts how different things happen to create new stars. Like everyone was talking about, maybe this is not long ago, talking about there's no big stars in the UFC anymore, not Conor size. I argue Sean O'Malley has crossover appeal. He could probably be the next guy, but Conor's just like, who knows? He kept talking about he wants to fight in New York. I think December 16th in New York card. I think Patrick, if you're still on here, check me on that. But he was talking about December 16th. Now he's like, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. To me from the outside looking in, it looks like USADA is the issue with Conor. Now, why supposedly he's supposed to be in the pool by now, but I haven't heard any updates on that. And why he isn't in there is to me is the question. If they tested him right now, you think he gets all fucking he pops? You think?
I don't know, dude. Maybe. I don't know. Again, I would imagine if he's known he was going to fight all this time, surely this is almost like one of those fucking tests at school. Did you guys ever have fucking tests? They call it like an open book test. Yeah. And they'd give you a test, but they'd give you a book and all the answers are in the book. And it's like, you just got to be not enough of a fucking lazy cunt to look it up. It's a fucking, you got all the answers right there. Just look them shits up. Like, you don't got to know it right there. It's figured fucking out with the fucking goddamn book, the guide. You know you're going to take the fucking test, Connor.
Yeah.
So like if you're taking steroids to heal your fuck leg and to get juiced up on fucking coked off your tits on a fucking Mediterranean island somewhere while you're fucking in the off season, fair enough. But obviously you're coming back.
Right.
This is not a test you should fucking fail by any stretch of the imagination. So it's like, if he gets tested, he's gonna pass, right? I mean, after all this,
he has to.
He's going to fucking pass, right? Like, what the fuck would you do all that and then still be like, oh, man, was that 6 months that was out of your system or 5.5? Oh, like, I mean, what the fuck, man? Like, I would imagine that's what the holdup is. He's not joining because he knows he wasn't clean, or I would fucking think. And I'll tell you something. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck for everybody that broke their leg like that. So, Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, and fucking Conor McGregor. I don't give a shit if they took steroids to fix their fucking leg that literally snapped in half in front of the world, man. Whatever. I mean, listen, Conor probably got a little carried away. He looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger there for a while. So clearly he got a little fucking, he ran a little rampant with it. But I ain't got no problem with a motherfucker taking some steroids to fucking heal a little faster. Fuck it. They should legalize that shit.
Shit. Before we go, how was it? Conor was making talking shit about Brad Tavares because of the leg kicking thing and everything, calling him an ass wipe and all that kind of stuff. And Brad Tavares goes, "Let him juice up, come up to 185, knock that little Irish ass out." It was fucking funny. Like the quote is good. It's over at Cageside Press on Instagram. Go check it out, folks.
I mean, listen, that's just funny as hell. Of course, Conor will say that he's got a bad stem. Like Mike, look at this, Mike. Let's agree this was some bullshit, right? Boy, boy. If I was Michael Chandler, first thing I do is thunderstrike that little shitty leg of his.
100%.
First thing I do.
100%.
First thing I do is kick that bad leg. It's like, check this out. Just so you understand, motherfucker, that motherfucker is not off limits. If we get on the ground, I'm punching him. I'll be WWE style wrestling, punching him right in his bad knee, Jack.
I'd be trying to fucking land on that bad leg immediately. Like, let's find out how good it is. Let's see how good your roids are.
Oh yeah, like fuck. Let's see what that motherfucker does under a little knee bar pressure.
The fuck, we're gonna agree not to kick, not to. Oh, you're coming off a bad leg, a fucking busted leg. I'm not gonna kick your leg. Fuck you. You came in here, right? You signed the contract. Let's go.
Yeah, bro, this is blood sport, man.
Yeah.
This is not baseball. What the
Yeah,
fuck? Hell no, dog. Coming right after that knee. What the fuck? If it ain't good enough, then don't fight. Sorry.
100%. Raider says I wouldn't mind watching Conor fight all juiced up. Fuck it. All right. Shit. Anything else you want to touch on?
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, so what do we got coming up? We got let's talk about this this Tyson Fury and Ngannou fight. Like, I still forget that this thing's actually happening. And then we could talk about the Nate Diaz Jake Paul fight quickly. We didn't even.
We didn't talk about that. Yeah, okay.
First off, in the celebrity okay. So celebrity boxing realm. Let's start with Nate Diaz Jake Paul, since that's something that already happened.
Yeah.
Man, so after that fight, and again, I think I've known this for a very long time, and again, it'll tie into which I think are all very much my known opinions on what I think is going to happen with Ngannou and Tyson Fury. And this is not necessarily to discredit Jake Paul as a boxer, but I think everybody has to really, really, really wake up and understand the massive differences between MMA and boxing, man. Like, they're similar in elements for sure. You sort of throw your hands in both things, but that's about it, man. It's like fucking figure skating and ice hockey. And I mean, I'm being serious about that. I think they're that different. Like, just because you're a good figure skater or a speed skater on ice doesn't mean that you'd be good at hockey. It's just not the same thing. Jake Paul. Now, listen, there were parts where Nate Diaz made the fight interesting, but all in all, Jake Paul low key threw Nate Diaz a beating. Fucking pains me to say that, but he fucking was fucking low key whooping on him. If it wasn't for Nate Diaz's crazy endurance and his ability to actually box a little, he probably would have got fucking put out of there by fucking Jake Paul. I just think that with each one of these, we realize how different this is. And now, look, I'll say all this crazy shit, and Ngannou will come out and knock Tyson Fury out and just throw this whole fucking thing on its head.
Yeah.
But for all the fucking me, the goddamn boxing versus MMA debate is fucking over. If again, there will be freak accidents in either way. Who's the prick? Ray Mercer that knocked out Tim Sylvia all those years ago in MMA. Boxer comes to MMA, knocks out the MMA guy. Yeah, that's 1 in a million. 9 times out of 10, what happened with James Toney and Randy Couture is what happens when a boxer comes to MMA. If the MMA guy is remotely fucking intelligent, the takedown's happening, and they are getting the beaten or the choke down of their fucking life. On the contrary, if an MMA guy goes to boxing, apparently no matter how much of a fucking decent boxer they were in MMA, if the boxer has a micron of boxing talent, a la Jake Paul, they're going to win in that boxing match. Again, it's just completely fucking different. More than I think people that don't train, and hell, some people that do train even understand. I think even some of these boxing coaches in MMA, Francis Ngannou's MMA coaches or boxing coach, and again, maybe when they're having drinks by themselves, they're like, he's going to get killed, right? But I think they think that he's really got a chance. And it's like, are all these fucking, these MMA guys, the head coaches, the boxing coach, I mean, they're extremely knowledgeable martial art guys. Am I missing something where they're just not getting the memo that this shit's not going to translate? The MMA guy doesn't have a chance in there, I don't think. I just feel like it's almost literally not fair.
So with Jake Paul, what I've noticed about him, he picks his opponents very well. They're not strikers. They're super old or they're undersized. Like, it's all those. Tyron Woodley honestly was kind of both, but all those. But when Nate, the closer we got to the fight, the more I started wondering how serious he was taking it. This is not to excuse Nate Diaz in terms of the result at all, or to make excuses for him. But I was started wondering, like, how serious is he taking this fight? Is he really thinking he's going to go in there and do this and all that? And he's talking about, hey, what's up, SJ? He's talking about, make it 10 rounds and all sort of stuff. And so he can use his cardio. And near the end of the fight, he started, landing on Jake quite a bit. But I just my question of how serious Nate was taking this was answered in the first round when he went for that single leg. When he grabbed the single leg and picked it up, I'm like, oh, we're watching the show. So from that point on, I expected the result that we got. Decision. Now, I didn't expect him to drop Nate. That surprised me a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot. The power was there. You got to give Jake Paul, credit for being knowing how to set up punches and all that. He was doing it. Nate was kind of fucking around, joking around a little bit and everything. He got caught with that. So I was a little surprised about that. But outside of that, the single leg in the first round, I think it was like near the end of the fight was the guillotine. And if you notice, like he fucking cinched it up. And Jake Paul in the post fight was talking about like, yeah, no, he was choking me. He was fucking choking me. So, end of the day, it was entertainment. Fair enough. But, if you're Nate, I mean, you kind of, even when you lose, you win. And but with Jake Paul, that's the question for me is what do you do next if you're Jake Paul? Because it seems like from what people have been saying, interest for this fight was like not there. Like a lot of people go off the Google searches, right? Because you can find out how popular a Google search is. And out of all his fights, somehow Nate was one of the lowest searched fights for Jake Paul, which to me says a couple things. One, people are kind of getting tired of the show and they don't believe they're legit fights. But two, his fan base is getting older. If you remember, his fan base is all Disney kids, man. They're all getting older. And yeah, at some point, oh yeah, we're gonna watch Jake Paul box, cool. But as you get older, you stop giving a fuck about the Disney kid you used to watch. So it's to me that's just the question. So what does Jake Paul do next?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Nate Diaz is a fucking huge star.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with fucking Jake Paul is, I think he wants a career in boxing, but he's not going to get it. He mentions Canelo's name, and that's where we get to this ridiculous point. And the problem is, I think he's climbed the MMA mountain now, though.
Yeah.
That's where we reach ourselves. He climbed that ladder a little too quick. Nate Diaz was fucking Shang Tsung. Yeah. Pricks out there that don't know nothing about Mortal Kombat. He's the final boss. That was the big one. There's only one bigger fish in MMA that's remotely his size, and that's Conor McGregor. And even if that happens, it ain't gonna be for a while because Conor's still got a little bit of real MMA business to finish up right now. So, I don't know. Like, listen, he took one fight against a legitimate boxer. What is Tommy Fury's fucking rank in boxing?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
I'm not a massive boxing guy, but I'm going to just go out on a limb and say it's not top 20.
It's not
in his respective weight division. So, listen, again, they're different things. When Jake Paul's boxing an MMA guy, it's entertaining. He knocks some of them out. It's fun. Again, the problem is he's already got the heavyweight belt in that department. Like beating Nate Diaz you have to go down from there, and you can't fight real boxers.
Yeah.
The problem with Jake Paul is if he took boxing seriously, I don't even know what fucking division he would be in, but he'd have to go to fucking super bloated junior fucking light middleweight and fight some prick ranked 33 that nobody's ever heard of that probably beats the absolute dog shit out of him.
Oh, that would end his career.
Uzbekistan or some shit. Triple G's little cousin or something probably comes out there and just walks the dog shit out of him. So that's a good question. I don't know what you do with Jake Paul. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's not make it seem like he's got no options.
Right.
He'll figure it out. Maybe the KSI Tommy Fury winner, I guess, would be a good start for Jake Paul, I suppose. Yeah. Again, I don't know who, Jorge Masvidal, maybe. But again, I think to your point, that might be getting a little old because then it's, same thing, man. This old, aging MMA guy, like I guess we would assume that Jorge's got a little bit better of a chance than Nate because we've seen what happened when they boxed in MMA gloves.
Yeah.
But in general, I'll tell you right now, if by some chance they do Jorge Masvidal and fucking Jake Paul, I bet my fucking firstborn child that it looks just like Nate Diaz and fucking Jake Paul. Jorge might land a couple here or there, but like Jake's just he's a better boxer at boxing in a boxing ring. It just is what it is.
He's younger. He only boxes. He's bigger than both Nate and Jorge. He's smart with the way he picks fights. He's smart. The one risk he's taken so far is the Tommy Fury fight, and obviously that didn't pay off for him. But with Jorge and Nate, he's clearly bigger and younger than both of them, and boxing focused. So You got to hand it to Jake for for going, I guess the Mayweather pick and fight style early on.
So Jake should probably wait for the Tommy Fury Cageside thing to pan out. If I'm Nate, I'm on the phone with Dana White tomorrow. Like, yo, after Conor fucking inevitably gets starched by Michael Chandler,
let me get that fight.
Your boys back on deck. Let us take on our own thing. Come on,
Sweet.
you know what time it is. Me and Conor 3. It's time to cash it in.
Yeah.
We're still gonna do big business. We're both old and washed, but we're both like so.
Yeah.
Nate's gonna be fine. I could see him going right back to the UFC. He's one of the very, very few people that I could see Dana White being like, all right, cool beans. We let you slide off, make fucking 10 million. We'll have you come back. We'll put you in a big fight or two. We'll make another fucking 100 million off of you. Everybody's fucking happy as larks.
Yeah.
Now,
real quick. Sorry, real quick, because we were talking about Conor for a second. First, Patrick Dana, what's up, dude? I thought Nate would get himself DQ'd at some point. He surprised me by not. But as of about 5 minutes ago, Conor McGregor tweeted out that December is back on the table for the Michael Chandler fight. So, I don't know what the fuck that means.
I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happens. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I hear they keep saying December. They need a big one for the year. And listen, if Conor wants any of this bullshit that he thinks he's going to get next year, he needs to get this fight in. He needs to get a knockout. He needs to do all this shit ASAP so he can, going into 24, he can maybe, pull off some of this horse shit he's talking about.
Exactly. Sorry, where are we going at?
No. So, Nate, I think, is still sitting very pretty. Even with a loss, he's good to go. On the fucking contrary, Francis Ngannou, win, lose, or draw, will not be in a good spot. I think if Francis Ngannou knocks Tyson Fury the fuck out, Dana White would still be like, I don't give a fuck. Him and Tyson Fury can rot in hell. I'd rather fucking suck the fucking dick of goddamn fucking Fedor Emelianenko's manager than let Francis Ngannou back in this goddamn fucking ring.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing about Francis. So obviously, Francis is the PFL deal. He's got a bunch. They gave him the fucking house, for that. But the thing about because people were like, oh, Dana doesn't care. I don't know about that. The fucking last Apex card, there was a Cameroonian fighter. I forget Tafan Chuk. I can't remember. I apologize for the last name, but Tafan is a Cameroonian fighter, and the graphic that they put on when he's walking out was first Cameroonian UFC fighter, which is not even Francis. It's and I forget the fellow's name, but way back in the day, there was already one. Yeah. So yeah, exactly him. He's the first one, and they put on the graphic on there that Tafan was the first one, and I'm sitting there going like, everyone that's been watching UFC for 5 minutes knows that that's not true. It's how do you say his last name?
Sokoju.
Sokoju, thank you, Sokoju. It was
that
guy.
Terry Rahman, whatever the fuck Sokoju is. The dude that fucking starts out Little Nog many moons ago in Pride.
He had fucking dreads and it was dope. Yeah, and everything. But yeah, but like they put that up and I'm like, man, Dana's not trying to give Francis any kind of anything at this point. But whether or not it was direction or it was incompetence by the producer, the producers, who knows? But either way,
the thing about that, and I'm being a homer. Maybe I'm being a homer, but I feel like that had to be an
accident.
Yeah, well, if Dana White's goal is to not give Francis Ngannou attention, why on the that backfired?
Big time, yeah.
Like that, I don't know that I don't know. That just feels like. That feels too obvious to be a diss from Dana. Like, what would even be the point of that? Doing this, immediately everybody's going to look to the fucking very famous Cameroonian fucking fighter that we all know it just feels like, I don't know. If Dana White did do that, that's stupid. Because listen, does it really matter one way or the other? Not really. No. Does anybody, is anybody going to not watch the next UFC or not going to? No, not really. But again, all it did was give Francis Ngannou a shitload of credit in the public's eye. Anybody, even if you're on the UFC side, Francis Ngannou was fucking from Cameroon. Like that's one of the very few things we do know about him. That's the one thing that UFC always lets you know that he was from Cameroon and he fucking grew up in a salt mine. And then he fucking swam across the ocean to go to Paris or whatever the fuck. Like we all know that. Very, very fucking. That's the few things we know for sure about Francis Ngannou is he was from Cameroon. What the fuck? Like, it just seems like a really stupid fucking thing to do if it was like from the actual balls. Like, and please, he's the first Cameroonian fighter too. Fuck Francis.
There you go. As far as the Tyson Fury Vince Ngannou fight, we all know how it's gonna go. I think it's cute that you get Mike Tyson to train him. I think it's funny that that fight's probably gonna get a bunch of run on ESPN and probably gonna get a couple of commercials on a UFC broadcast. That's gonna make me laugh a little bit. But switching, I guess just switching subjects here a little bit. I don't know if you've heard about this. I'm sure you have. So Bellator, the rumor is that PFL is gonna purchase Bellator, right?
Yeah.
That's
They're going to. I bet you they do.
Here's the thing. So, and I've been going not even back and forth. I've been steadfast on this. How the hell is PFL going to buy Bellator? They can't even keep their house in check. It came out this morning that fighter for this last card that I guarantee you didn't even know happened a few days ago, were piss tested, not blood tested. PFL picked up USADA not too long ago because they had like 10 fighters pop hot and their whole fucking playoff system got fucked because of a bunch of positive tests. So they have USADA and they're working now actively. This last card, they only did piss tests, no blood tests. USADA uses blood tests and everything. And they did a bunch of piss tests. And it makes me wonder. It's like, man, you can't even keep your house in order, bro. Like, how you going to buy a whole fucking other promotion? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think they're about to fuck up.
I do think they're going to do it. I think it's a bad idea, and I think it will be disastrous for everybody involved, except for the UFC.
Right.
And in this very moment, I don't want to say that this was some master plan, because I think at the end of the day, the UFC just has a lot of masters to serve. They have a lot of fights they have to give people.
Got bills to pay.
You got that. But I think maybe one of the added benefits, because I'm just sitting here thinking, there was a time in which there were actual stars that weren't in the UFC. Now we got to reach hard to find stars in the UFC.
Yeah.
When I start looking outward of the UFC and I'm like, who's a star? Bro, I'll tell you the truth, bro. I don't even watch Bellator or PFL. So before I lose my train of thought,
go ahead. Yeah.
Maybe the UFC completely oversaturating the market also just dulls out any real fucking hype for places like Bellator or PFL. Bare Knuckles got their thing. The boxing's a freak show. I don't got time for the PFL, to be honest with you. Look, is there probably a lot of great fighters in the PFL? Are there some old school guys in Bellator names that I would still recognize because they put together a couple fights that might even be really great or whatever? Sure. But how many fucking stars are there outside the UFC right now? I mean, listen, say the PFL buys Bellator tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we name fucking 5 guys or girls that are like actual stars? And, don't give me no bullshit about this guy's up and coming or this girl can do that. Who are 5? Like, bro, there was a time where Daniel Cormier and Gegard Mousasi and these like hyped fucking fighters were not, even fucking Michael Chandler at a certain point was not like, there was a point where there were people. Who the fuck would you even want to see in the UFC? You know who I want to see in the UFC? Gordon Ryan. That's how fucked, though. Yeah. Because what MMA guy are we dying? If you could pick one guy, who's the guy right now? There used to be a Fedor. There used to be people where you're like, oh, bro, if we could get him in the UFC, I don't even know who them dudes are. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm not saying I just seen some fucking 6'7" Brazilian that got a knockout in the PFL, heavyweight trick or whatever. I'm sure that dude, might very well make his way to the UFC. But I'm saying, who's making waves? Who's a name that's like not only winning fights against fucking people that matter in some way, shape, or form, but they have a personality. Like there used to be real stars outside the UFC, and I feel like MMA's let me get to my goddamn long-winded fucking point. I feel like MMA is going through a fucking down phase right now. It's
I
still
can see that.
popular, and when we put on a big fight, it does this a little bit. But in general, overall, I think there's way too many fights. There's way too many boring fights. There's way too many fucking organizations and events. It's just a fucking complete shit show to where even people like me that have been watching for fucking 20 years at this point, am just like, I don't got time for the PFL, man.
It's
If
hard.
the PFL gets something really interesting, let me
Mhm.
know. Bellator too. Oh, you guys just joined up. I don't give a fuck. Let me know when there's a real interesting fight, and I'll fucking, the UFC's already fucking me enough with their horse shit.
For real. Patrick, a couple points here. PFL buying Bellator would be one of the worst things to happen in MMA. Not only that, with that whole antitrust lawsuit that they got going on with UFC right now, which, by the way, not to go on that tangent because that's a whole nother fucking can of worms we don't have time to open up. But they're actually in the process of the plaintiffs in that case are trying to get everything opened up so all the details will come out in public. And that would probably not be great for the UFC, but we'll see. And then Patrick says, I've heard things from PFL fighters that they were never tested in the early years and that they made a fighter go out of the venue to get food following a loss. Like, it's the Wild West in MMA and everything. But again, PFL buying Bellator to me is a bad idea for PFL. To me, it's bad for MMA. But on the other side of that, the whispers are Bellator doesn't have much longer. Just on their own. And you can blame a lot of things for that, but I think a lot of it has to do with the parent company not being happy with it. But we'll see.
Listen, let me be Nostradamus Daddy Fred for y'all right now. Guess what? PFL ain't got long either, unless they keep getting fucking people that got that goddamn what was that nasty little prick that was touching them babies and killed himself off that island or whatever? Was that nasty little Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah,
unless they just keep getting Jeffrey Epsteins to fucking put billions of dollars into this thing so they can just piss it away. Here's the problem, man. These assholes think they're going to compete with the UFC.
Right.
You want some fucking business advice? Don't try to compete with Walmart. Don't try to compete with McDonald's. It's not a great idea. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means it's not a very fucking good idea. You better take it. If you're going to fucking make hamburgers, you better do something to make them different. You better not make a fucking version of a Big Mac because it's there. It doesn't fucking matter. There is room for MMA. There's not room for somebody that wants to call themselves competition to the UFC. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I know that you need healthy competition. Yeah. I know that when Strikeforce and Pride were in a good spot, that's, I get all that, but I'm just listen, I'm being the bearer of bad news for y'all. Pay-per-view's a fucking dying world. Fucking the PFL and Bellator think they're going to combine forces and sell pay-per-views. Are they out of their fucking mind? Let me tell you, again, writing's on the wall for the UFC. The UFC is not going to be able to sell pay-per-views soon enough. You can't stream these things easy enough. It's Dana White. Dana White is the cunt of all cunts. When he wants you dead, you're dead. He came after the streamers years ago, and let me tell you something. The streamers are one of the few people that fucking told Dana White to fuck off, and he fucked off. How many times did he talk about streamers now? He don't. It's a war he's not going to win, dog. Yep. I think he figured out that as many fucking moles as he pops down, there'll be 10 others. You're never, ever, ever going to stop that shit. It's just the way it fucking goes at this point. So, no, man, you're not going to get no competition with the UFC. You've got to keep yourself. You got to do business with the UFC. The UFC is the mafia. They run this city. They run this town. You want to do business in MMA? Go to fucking Asia. Yep. One does their thing because they stay in fucking Thailand. They're in Bangkok having events. They don't give a fuck what the UFC does because one marches to the beat. And from what I've heard, one is leaking money too, but that's neither here nor there. At least they're sort of over there doing their thing. If you think you're going to come to America and hold shows on the same night as the UFC, even if you get lucky every once in a while, you throw out a big event and the UFC has a crappy event and you're like, oh, Bellator did a good one tonight.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're going to get crushed in the long run.
Yeah, it's not looking good for those guys, but honestly, the UFC needs them around. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen with that, but we'll see. All right, just to touch on here before we get out of here because we're definitely over time. Next couple UFC cards are fun ones for everyone in the States. I don't know if you can see the time on that thing right there, but this fight's happening. This card this week is happening in South Korea. Prelims kick off at 2 a.m. Pacific Standard. It's 5 a.m. your time. And then the main card starts at 5 a.m. my time. It's 8 a.m. your time.
Okay. I ain't mad at that, goddamn it. I love that.
Oh, no, I'm cool with it. I'll be up anyways. I'm like,
Okay,
shit.
hey,
Breakfast
cool.
and
I love
coffee.
that. Yeah, I love the fucking bread. I don't like those fucking midday cards. People got shit to do. They got to work. They got to get their hog kissed. You got shit to do in the midday. In the morning, though, is fucking cool, chill. Fuck, I love a fucking good morning card.
This card for me will be over by 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Fucking got my rest of my Saturday, bro. And then the fun one's the next one after that is UFC Paris. That one kicks off, prelims kick off at 9 a.m. and the main card starts at noon. So there you go. You won't love that one, but it's also not a super stack card. So
okay, well, it's still not terrible though.
Yeah, and then after that, UFC 293. Apparently screw Australia in their times because that one starts off at normal times for us. So, but that's the Izzy Adesanya Sean Strickland card. So that's plenty coming up here with the UFC. I know Bellator have a few things coming up. I think they're going to they're going overseas somewhere. I think next. I can't remember. Patrick would know better than Patrick. Dana and McCoy would probably know better than I would on that one. But plenty to come. And then I don't know when the next PFL is. Dana White Contender Series tomorrow night. What else is there? I'm so constantly on this shit. My brain is just like smushed with like MMA shit. So I just check CagesidePress.com. There you go. You can check all your shit there. All right. You can follow Fred Kirby over at GenTGCs on Twitter or whatever the fuck I'm calling it now. At Elo32 for myself. At Keyboard MMA for the show. I don't know what the fuck we call it. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter.
I was gonna lead off with that with the show. We've been gone for so long. It's not even Twitter no more. X and shit. Not even
X
fucking
now.
Twitter. Won't even tweet. It's just the X.
Oh, there you go. Patrick says Dublin then San Diego. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So for a Bellator. All right, folks. That's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We love the hell out of you guys. For myself and Fred Kirby, the entire team over at Cageside Press, CagesidePress.com for everything, at Cageside Press on everything. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Good night. Good night, Wilshire.